So we will call to order the March 27th, 2025 meeting of the Schenectady County Industrial Development Agency. And I will ask for a motion and a second on the approval of minutes.
I'll make the motion.
I'll second it.
Any discussion? Comments? Minutes are in order. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
I move to the treasurer's report. I'll take a motion and a second on that, and then we'll ask David to explain.
I'll move
Where
to
we at?
accept the treasurer's report.
Second.
David,
Sure. So the treasurer's report.
let the record show we're joined by Sarah May. Go ahead.
Thank you all. Treasury report is through February 28th, 2025. You'll see we still have a healthy cash balance of $747,000. Very little activity to date. We pay a little bit. Did we get a refund in taxes? It looks like 2025, $14 in refund, and excuse me, that was a payment. Payment and taxes. We paid for some legal support and some insurance. Most of that is covered though by the interest we're getting. So a year or two ago, we went to an InfraFi account, which means all of our money is fully FDIC insured by using a few different banks to keep it under the $250,000 balance. And you'll see we're getting a healthy interest. I think it's about 4.3%. Any questions? Let me know.
Any questions? Hearing none, all in favor of accepting the treasurer's reports by saying aye.
Aye.
Cover up my agenda. The next item is 56125, and this is an intermunicipal agreement related to the Five Corners infrastructure improvement project. And let the record show the Five Corners definitely needs some work.
Yeah, well, it did receive quite a bit of work, and that's why we do want to assist with it. And this is the one project action that we have today. Ray and I were talking. We had our Metroplex meeting yesterday, and those of you who are involved at the county legislature, about the $535 million of new activity, 800 new jobs, a lot going on, and that is all through our unified economic development team. So the IDA is an important piece of this, and when we can involve the IDA in important projects, we do. So this is one where the town of Rotterdam had severely blighted building. Evan would know this really well after a fire in 2017 near his successful business. Right next to it was adjacent CVS that had closed its doors as well. With Ray's leadership, there was a proposal to bring forward a $5 million full service grocery store, Aldi's. It was Aldi's, for those of you who shop there, I love going there as well. Really well known for its value. Has a very loyal following. It took a lot, and Ray could probably speak to this, to get them interested in that site, challenging site. And one of the most challenging things about it was that the New York State Department of Transportation, which has jurisdiction over it because of state road, identified significant improvements that would need to be made to the intersection to make it safe for not only vehicles, but for pedestrians, so that you could then put in the infrastructure, roadway infrastructure necessary to reutilize that site. What we're looking for today is to enter into an intermunicipal agreement with Metroplex so that we can make some of those, we can help with some of those infrastructure improvements. The Metroplex board acted on this last night to move forward with funding to do things to help fund the replacement of a new traffic signal, westbound lane that went in, the crosswalks, sidewalks, significant improvements that needed to happen. For purposes of seeker, the town of Rotterdam did review this project previously. They did a coordinated action. They determined that the Aldi's project and the improvements was a unlisted action and positive, no negative effects, positive impacts on the environment to reuse a blighted site. Again, the resolution here is about entering an intermunicipal agreement with Metroplex so we can administer the funding, and the resolution appropriates $383,036 to this initiative. Ray, do you have anything?
I
else to
just
add?
want to thank Evan for his help, and who's very involved in this, and our legislators from Raleigh, Dwaynesburg, and Princetown. There's always a goal to have some kind of grocery in the western part of Rotterdam, and it was a really big need. We heard all the time. Tried to get grocery interested in the mall. They didn't see that. Also, the whole Bellevue Broadway corridor of Schenectady, it's a food desert as well. And those folks do not have healthy food options. And this site really needed attention. It was Taylor and Vadney burned down, and due to issues with wrangling back and forth with the owner, the fire, the wreckage of the fire basically stood for up CVS. It was not boarded up very well. So here, at one of the most prominent intersections, one of the busiest intersections in the county, we had one of the most blighted sites. It looked like something out of a bad movie scene. And of course, Evans right across the street with beautiful facility and Gerard Corporate Parks down the road. I remember we were bringing the businesses to the Roddick Corporate Park, and we'd come by Tops and they'd say, "What is that across the street? I mean, you can't look like this."
How long was it like that?
Oh my God.
Years since they built the CVS on Goodland and Curry.
Yeah.
But there was a couple of challenges with that. The first challenge was getting by the local real estate people for all these who insisted the market needed to be on Altamont Avenue. And, I brought in the Gordon family, and once the nephew convinced the uncle to demolish it and make it at least look shovel ready, things started flowing a little bit better, and we finally got a hold of somebody in all these corporate in Chicago, and then things started to flow. But sometimes the biggest obstacles is you get a real estate guy that represents all these. No, it's got to be on Altamont Avenue.
Yeah, they did
They're
not
very,
want this location, and we basically talked them into it. And then lo and behold, DOT comes along and says, "We're not approving the project because the Five Corners is a mess. So you've got to do all these traffic improvements." We got the company to give us some money. We got the developers to give some money, but we had to basically agree to carry the bulk of it in order to get the project done, to get them to put the 5 million in. The store's been a knockout success. They're very pleased. And the project's completed. It took a long time to finish the infrastructure improvements. But the bill is due. We've got to pay it, and I appreciate everybody coming in to gets this off our books. But I do it again in a minute. I mean, all these looks great there, and I think it's helped a lot of people. And we want to address these food deserts in our community, and this is the premier company that is in small format groceries. So we're thrilled to move this forward. Again, just a tremendous amount of effort by the county. County engineering got involved. The county legislature had to agree to take property. I don't know if you remember that. Sidewalks and on and on and on. And countless meetings with Evan, the planning board. Really good team effort to get this sorted. So thank you.
I'll make the motion.
Second. The only comment I would make is that I think it's a really good example of how in Schenectady we manage to get people to work together, and each interested party takes a piece. The legislature did what it needed to do. The IDA did what it needed to do. Metroplex did what they need to do. And the net result, if you get a better outcome, you have a thriving, commercial corridor where you used to have, as Ray pointed out, a burned out building to close the CPS. So we should all give ourselves a little credit for that. And all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. That brings us to 2024 audit resolution 56225. We're being asked to adopt the comprehensive audit for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2024. And I imagine you're going to hear our audit findings.
Yeah, so Cusack and Company completed our audit again this year. We really think Tonya, we've 5 different audits for the organizations that we run here through the Unified Economic Development Team. IDA again had a clean audit, unqualified opinion, no adverse material findings. Just our cash balance at the end of the year isn't much different than what you saw for the end of February 2028, 748,518. Good audit, and really can't thank Tony enough for her leadership and getting this stuff done on time so that we can make our report to the Authority Budget Office by the end of this month.
So there are no issues here.
No issues.
I'll move to accept the, I'll second that motion.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Next item is our submission to the authority's budget office. We do this every year. Resolution 56325. We don't have any new numbers, but for the benefit of the fact that we're streaming to the public, maybe we could take a high level run through those three items: the mission statement, the property report, and the investment report, just so really transparent.
Yeah, no, absolutely. So there are three reports that you need to do in addition to having, you'll see our consent agenda, a few policies that every year we have to make sure we look at, that they're up to date. The three reports are one, reviewing our mission statement, confirming that we feel that activity is going on meets our mission statement, and that we have some performance objectives and goals for the next year. So, you know, the important thing that we're lucky to be able to be, because of all of your leadership, to have a unified approach here. And, you know, we don't have one organization stretch into projects or areas where another organization, whether it's Metroplex, whether it's the city IDA, and the city can take the leadership. And I know in other communities, they'll have their city IDA and county IDA trying to undercut each other for projects. That's not what we do here. It's all a unified approach. So, you know, while you'll see on the performance report that the activity for this year shows zero in new investment, that couldn't be farther from the truth. It's just that we haven't run that through the county IDA because the vehicle is not the right vehicle and could result in higher costs for a project, or just not the most efficient way to do it. You know, on our Metroplex report, as I think I mentioned, $535 million of new development between all of the organizations that we manage. We have pilots that have generated $17.7 million for the community. The county sales tax continues to be at a record high for the county. It's a diversified economy. It's not focused on one company anymore. Though, you know, if we think about their legacy with GE, their investments in the past few years couldn't have been stronger. So all in all, a terrific year. Specific to our report, we'll get to that because I'm just a big packet here.
We're moving on.
Specific to our report, what you see, as I said, the capital investment through the IDA, limited, but we've retained all of our jobs among existing projects. On the projects that we report jobs, over 1,200 jobs, 3% increase through all the entities. What we've seen is that jobs continue to come back after what we saw during the COVID period of a little bit of a lull. When it comes to the exemption in real property, we decreased that by 7%. And then we saw, it's kind of anomaly here, but we've seen a 53% decrease in the total pilot value. So one of our larger projects, the SI group, had the value that the pilot had expired, which means it's back on the tax rolls. But you see that the decrease in real property had not gone down the same. That's just because the Chippy project, which is the transmission line, that is under construction. They haven't started their pilot payments yet. I know all the towns and taxing jurisdictions are looking forward to that. The construction is ongoing. When that begins, you'll see that those numbers normalize a little bit more. But all in all, you know, it was a tremendous year for the Unified Economic Development team. And, you know, we do appreciate your support when we find blight removal or public infrastructure that's not the town's responsibility, but an economic development goal. That's where we can go to the IDA and have them serve their purpose. That's the mission statement. Real property report, no dispositions this year. You'll see our holdings, and our investment report is completed by our auditors, just shows that our funds are properly allocated, and you'll see the majority of that difference from last year to this year. Majority of that is now in interest-bearing accounts. It's something that with the higher interest rates, we took advantage of. And that means, you know, for last year, almost $30,000 of income just from investments, which we can then plow back into activity. Ray, you have anything else to add?
I think one of the things, the Chippy project, you know, it's just which is really exciting. I got a really lovely email the other day from the Chalmont School Superintendent, who I can share it with you if you like. And this is the rewarding part of the job, because they expect, starting in 27, to get almost $800,000 a year from this project, just the Chalmont School District. And he was so excited that that's going to help them do so many things they want to do in the district. Again, because of the pilot that we were able to put in place, the bulk of the towns now, with the exception of Waynesburg and Queenstown, all the other towns have included their entire town in the Metroplex service territory. So the deal flow is going through Metroplex. It's a lot easier.
So all the fans here in the house can see the whole.
It's a lot.
Tried to silence it and went the other way.
The NDA process is a lot more expensive and difficult and consuming than the Metroplex process is. And, in the IDA process, you're basically holding nominal title to the building, which is a complete legal process. So we're really running the activity, and the activity level for 24 was extremely low. As David said, over 800 jobs. So we're seeing now, initially the towns had very restricted areas where they wanted to see activity. Now they've really developed the trust that we're doing the right thing. So basically all of Glenville, all of Rotterdam, all of this unit are in our service territory. So we're able to leverage the Metroplex tools for those projects. And that's where the activity level is gone. We still need the IDA for things like Chippy, which is just, where you need to go longer and have a longer view, or some of these public infrastructure projects. So we appreciate your support. We're happy to meet you.
Great.
So thanks everybody for being part of the process. Have a motion and a second on this, I think. All in favor of,
So we have motion second.
let me ask for a motion in a second, just in case I did.
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor signify by saying.
Aye.
The next item kind of goes hand in glove with this. It's, this is actually, what we're gonna do this as a consent agenda.
Correct, yeah.
Right? So we've got multiple resolutions here. Our investment policy, our real property disposition, procurement, whistleblower. Let me ask for a motion in a second.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that we accept as a consent agenda, resolution 564-25, 565-25, 566-25, and 567-25.
Can I have a second to that?
Second.
Now, with the consent of the members of the board, can we just review what may have changed in any of these policies?
Perfect. Nothing changed.
The same action we took last year,
Correct.
The year before.
the year before.
Every year, and you'll see we have posted them all on our website. What we do is just update the dates. We'll work with Amanda and her team at Barclay Damon just to confirm that we have everything up to date. If there are any change in laws related to the IDAs, but it is important for us to just take another look at these, remind us that we're doing everything correctly. And if you have any questions, again, I encourage you to not only look at the Metroplex website for new news and items that are happening in our jurisdiction, but you can always look at our policies, our reports, our audit goes up on our website, as well as our live recordings of these meetings.
Seeing nothing new, all in favor of accepting these policies again this year? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Policies are approved. We have one additional item. It's resolution, I believe it's the last thing. Resolution 568-25, and this is the election of officers.
Yeah, we're looking to keep the same slate of officers. We do appreciate everybody's commitment to this organization. You're always willing to come in, infrequently as we try to value your time and only bring projects as needed. But Gary Hughes continues to serve as chair, Evan vice chair, Nicholas McDonald treasurer, Chris Gardner secretary, and Michael Martell as assistant secretary.
I am make a motion. We accept the slate as posted.
I'll second that.
Any in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? There you are. And we should ask for other business. Any other business?
I want to thank you. The closing of Chippy was very complex because you're dealing with so many properties. And I made a complete fool of myself as usual because I was asking, in the letter, we notify all the tax jurisdictions of what's going on with these pilots, which is very good. So a letter goes to all the elected officials. And the letter was addressed to the head of the Chalmont School Board, whose name is Angelo Santa Barbara. So I thought, I'm the genius. How can that be? That's a mistake. But there's truly another Angelo Santa Barbara who is the head of the Chalmont School District. Little known fact. And so I was pontificating and saying, this is a big mistake. You got the name wrong. And of course, it was completely correct. I looked at the Chalmont, and the Chalmont website is kind of cute. It says, yes, my name is Angelo Santa Barbara. I'm not that Angelo.
I'm not that guy.
The Chalmont School District loves us anyway because they're getting so much money for that. But that was a very complicated situation. I mean, dozens and dozens of properties. So thank you. It's very complex.
You know, we're seeing out there, and this is just a comment, we're seeing out there a number of school districts where they're feeling some financial pressure. And Chippy will be helpful.
Oh, yeah.
Not now, but eventually. Yeah.
And,
So sometimes the actions we take may seem like they're not accomplishing much, but over time, they do.
Gotta let that seed grow and
Grow a little
yeah.
bit.
Yes, through the organization, $17.7 million of pilot tax revenue. A lot of those on properties that were paying significantly less or may have been off the tax rolls as well.
Yeah.
So, these are important tools and, obviously raise leadership and, it's amazing. He just never sleeps on a deal and gets them done. And then the rest of the team, Jen worked tremendously hard on the job report. We mentioned Tonya on the audit, and Danielle, we had some updates on some of the DRI stuff and just project management. She's doing a tremendous job. Steve Streichman and Kristen Evans now, excuse me, are out on Crane Street right now, meeting with some of the property owners up there. But Steve is retiring effective the end of this week, and Kristen is taking over the role as the executive director of the land bank. So, we've had some moving pieces here. But the full team's working hard to run all these organizations.
All right. If Steve were here, we would tell him that we appreciate all of his efforts over the years for the Schenectady County, the city of Schenectady, and wishing well in his retirement. Can I have a motion to adjourn?
I'll make the motion.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
We are adjourned. Now we'd like to convene the March 27th meeting of the Schenectady County Capital Resource Corporation, which we has an agenda, but it's pretty straightforward. And we'll start with a motion and a second on the approval of minutes. We last met on September 6th, 2020.
I'll make that motion.
Second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Treasurer's report.
Little activity through the start of the year here, some interest, and our cash on hand is $338,216.
Motion in a second, please.
Motion.
I'll second.
All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have our audit.
Yep, happy to report again, a clean, unmodified opinion, no material findings. Cusack and Company completed this audit as they do the county IDA audit as well.
Motion in a second, please.
I'll make the motion.
Second. Second. All in favor? Aye. So we approve the audit. We have all the same report submissions for the ABO. I think, to the best of my knowledge, there's no significant difference between these and the reports that we do.
Well, yeah, just our performance, it's
Yeah.
different entities. So this one is issuing tax exempt financing. Union College, their debt that they took out for some capital improvements to their campus, funding their lease for the Mohawk Event Center, Mohawk Harbor Event Center, $46,935,000. So that is a great vehicle to keep some of those fees local to the community. I know Union College was thrilled about it. We've toured the new event center about a week or two ago. They just poured the the last concrete, that goes over the 5 miles worth of.
13.
piping. 13 miles.
13
You were there. You were there.
I've been on this thing like a nerd.
I know some of us can't wait to see the ice because we have kids who play hockey, so it's gonna
I
be.
just want to drive the Zamboni.
We have a net zero electric one over at the county.
Yeah.
room. Maybe come up and sit.
And they're getting a new electric Zamboni for this facility too, but it looks tremendous, and that, our help through the CRC for that allows another hotel to be built on site, another hotel over in Glenville as well, something that the Metroplex board acted on last month. So, it's all part of this unified team that you've also brilliantly put together, and we're happy to serve.
Just one other point, the union is, a lot of people don't realize this, I didn't. Union's a big employer, they have a 600, I mean, they have a ton of employees, a lot of them live in our community.
They do.
And anything we can do to make colleges stronger in our community, county has done so much to strengthen city Schenectady. And we thank you for that, but union and it's a tough time for colleges right now, they're getting directives every day from the Trump administration that are very disturbing in some cases, and but anything we can do to strengthen union and their operations here, the Gazette hasn't covered it, the Times Union covered it. They're doing a new engineering building now that's very really bucking the trend nationally of colleges kind of pulling back. So we're very blessed to have them. This is I know they appreciated this financing help, which met a nice fee for us.
I could go off about my alma mater forever.
Your buddy Roger.
Right. And it's worked out really well.
Yeah, we appreciate David Harris. Was a tremendous friend to Schenectady, and the new leadership also has expressed a real willingness to want to continue to work together. They have identified that the importance of Schenectady to the colleges, the higher ed market has changed.
And they're part of their special sauce is the engineering programs. I think it's interesting that they're investing in that, because that's a little one-off from your typical liberal arts.
Yeah, no, it's a defining piece to them to offer liberal arts education with an engineering focus. I knew all the ones who failed out of the engineering program and ended up in economics, so I knew them all well. But now
And
it's
just anecdotally, some of the event center and the activity level in Schenectady, we were told the other day by the casino that Dartmouth College just booked, 40 rooms for the players, and then all the families behind it, they used to stay on Wolf Road.
Right.
Now with the event center, with all the new hotels, with all the activity, there's a desire to stay in Schenectady. And so those are incremental things, but they all add up to a stronger sales tax base, property tax base. But they were just beaming, if somebody walked into Dartmouth.
oh yeah,
said-
it's a
And
destination.
they're calling a year in advance because the hotels down at the casino and the harbor are very busy. So they're like, get our names in, so we get everybody on the team to stay here.
Wisconsin just won the national championship for the women's. They're coming for a
Women
4-person
Badgers are
tournament.
coming in
Yeah.
October.
So it's exciting stuff. Appreciate everyone's support.
That is big stuff.
So that's the performance
What's the
report.
seating capacity gonna be?
You know what? It's for events non-hockey related. It's going to be over 3. And it's not much bigger for hockey events than what Mesa is now, but it's different because at Mesa you sit like this on benches. They're going to be seats, some of them padded, back chairs. So roughly around 2,500, I believe.
They didn't want to lose the intimacy of the smaller facility, but for concerts, I think we're standing and seating on the floor. I heard it was over 4, I think.
Yeah, and there's some corporate opportunity there, some boxes. It really is a
We
nice
learned
setup.
yesterday, like TMI, all the boxes have been sold.
Mhm.
So there's a lot of community support.
It's great.
Yeah, you don't want the hockey environment. You don't want a big building because you like the notes.
No, I just didn't know if it was,
Yeah.
I knew it wasn't gonna be 15,000. I figured it under 5. I was just
Yeah.
curious.
That's the sweet spot.
Is the project still ahead of schedule and under budget?
It is.
Yeah, I just
I can't speak to
definitely
budget.
schedule. Well, the nice thing about the budget is it's not, most of these facilities are built by the municipality and they end up taking on a lot of the overages, and it's not really our problem. But, they're a great entity. LaChase is building it, and I know that they've been able to be pretty efficient with decisions in a changing environment when it comes to pricing. So,
And they're very welcome and opening if any of you all would like to walk through. I'm sure we can make that happen.
Mhm.
They'll even give you a hard hand. Go on a warm day.
So, and the investment report that is completed by Cusack as part of our audit, again, putting our funding and interest-bearing accounts has been great for this organization. And you'll see that we have no property that we hold through the CRC.
So that is 2/6/2/25. We talked so much about the hockey rink. I can't remember if we have a motion in the
Let's
second.
do it again.
Let's do it again. Can I have a motion? in a
I will
second?
make the motion.
I'll second.
All in favor signify by saying aye. Passes. We're back to the series of policy resolutions for the CRC. If I could have a motion for the.
Mr. Chairman, I make a motion that as a consent agenda, we accept resolution 263-25, 264-25, 265-25, and 266-25.
Have a second.
Second.
Any discussion?
No changes. We'll get them in before the end of the month.
Very good. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We have an election of officers. It's our final item on the agenda. I can find it.
Last page, no change to the slate here.
There. it is.
Appreciate your support and leadership.
Motion in a second.
Make the motion to accept the slate as printed.
Second. No other nominations? Hearing none, all in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Other business? Hearing none, motion to adjourn. All in favor? I got a motion and a second. I'm going to have a second. All in favor, signify by saying aye.
Aye.
We're adjourned.
Thanks.
Thank you.